We are back live from Hahnville. It's the second hour of the Allstate Sugar Bowl Prep Football Roundup. I'm the Esquire Brad Luminais, along with Alan Waddell and the coach Lou Valden. Now, every one of you knows that the Allstate Sugar Bowl has been sponsoring our show for several years. We're so grateful for them to do that. In the last few years, John Sudsbury with the Sugar Bowl has done a great job of lining up some really, really good guests for us on the show. And we do those interviews each week in the 8 o'clock hour. So now that we're in the 8 o'clock hour of week one, we're ready for our first interview of the year. And we have none other than the CEO of the Allstate Sugar Bowl, Jeff Hundley, to kick it off. Last few years, we've had Jeff as our first guest on the show, and this year is no exception. So, Jeff, welcome into the show tonight. We're so glad to have you again back with us.
Good to be with you, Brad. We're real fired up at the start of another football season and really excited about what lies ahead this fall.
Well, you know, the Sugar Bowl, again, supporting a bunch of high school-related events around the city of New Orleans, like this show, for which we thank you greatly. But that is one of the things that the Sugar Bowl has always been into, is that community involvement, that give back. So why are things like that and supporting this show and the other high school events so important to the Sugar Bowl?
Well, we really believe in youth and amateur sports, and high school football is right up our alleyway. It's our sweet spot. We've been preaching, for the last few years. We've kind of done a back to basics type thing. First things first, and first things first in our world means football. First, we want to support young people. Gives us an opportunity, to showcase their exploits and endeavors on the gridiron. But, we follow that up later in the year with some recognition ceremonies and scholarship presentations through our sponsorship of the National Football Foundation's local chapter. And so there's any number of reasons. And, if you want to be purely mercenary, we feel like the high school football players of this community will one day be season ticket holders to the Sugar Bowl game. It's a natural fit, so there are any number of reasons we do it, but it's exciting. We're proud to be part of it. We're proud to announce, too, that we have agreed to serve as title sponsor for the Prep Classic here in the Superdome, the state public school state championship games in December. So we're, again, excited to be involved in that endeavor as well.
Yeah, it's great news. Back on board as a title sponsor, so we'll be in the Dome with you, giving fans the play-by-play and the updates on all those state championship games. And, again, thanks to Sugar Bowl for making that happen this year. And as you mentioned, Jeff, you start young with the amateur athletes, you work your way up, and some of those guys that play on Fridays wind up playing on Saturdays. And let's be honest, Saturday football, college football, that is the main part of the Sugar Bowl. And this year, Sugar Bowl is doing something really exciting, because we've always had some Kickoff Classic out in Atlanta, but now we've got one home in New Orleans. It's the Allstate Louisiana Kickoff, and we've got a home team playing in it this year. So tell our fans about that.
Yeah, we're very excited about that, Brad. The Sugar Bowl committee has been wanting to do something with LSU to start the season for several years. We probably, I guess, goes back to 2017 when we first really started exploring this in earnest. And we're able to work out an arrangement and a good matchup. You want to be sure you have something that is nationally significant in LSU and Florida State. We have that. ABC is going to televise the game nationally on Sunday night. So, yeah, it's a big deal for us. We've done, countless bowl games, or we've never done one at the start of the season, so there's a lot of anxiousness as we lead up to it, but excitement as well. It looks like we're going to have a full Superdome on Sunday night, and we'll see how it goes for the future. The cities that have been doing these kickoff games for a long time are a lot larger than ours, and you start, it's a numbers game with the amount of money that you have to pay teams to get them to come to play in these games, and so we we're pretty conservative fiscally by nature, and with LSU in the game, it kind of takes the risk out of the equation and makes it something that we know can work. And sure enough, it's paying off. The Florida State fans have bought their allotment. They were sold out in June, and the LSU fans have rallied strongly, and they've bought up everything in sight too. And so again, we'll have a full house, great environment, got a big fan event outside the dome that's free to the public at Champion Square on game day. The Caesars tailgate town, and that ought to be a lot of fun as well. So be something special, and we're already in talks with LSU about potentially doing another one of these games a few years down the line. So if that works out, we could try to get the Tigers on a rotational basis, but we'll see. I don't want to put any pressure on them, but we are certainly interested here, and hopefully that works out at some point down the line.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a great thing for fans, instead of watching their Tigers on TV, travel somewhere, they've got the option of only watching on TV like they do this Sunday, as you said, on ABC, but actually go to the game. And even you almost can double dip because, like you said, you have these fan events. If you don't get tickets to the game, you can go down to Champion Square, have some fun, have some tailgate, participate in the events, and then go home and still watch the game if you can't get in. So, I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, we certainly think so, and we would look to build on it in the future if this one turns out like we think it will. So again, it'll be exciting and something to keep an eye on. We were the beneficiaries this year. A little inside baseball with Allstate being able to come on. We've got the state of Louisiana, the lieutenant governor stepped up and agreed to be a title sponsor of the game, and then Allstate had signed a 3-year deal in Dallas to do their game, and lo and behold, with schools paying more attention to scheduling big games at home as opposed to playing neutral site games, Dallas was unable to put a game together this year, and so Allstate, we were able to convince Allstate to bring that budgeted money that they had for Dallas and bring it here to New Orleans, and so we've really kind of, I guess, double dip, so to speak, but I think it's a positive thing all the way around, and both Allstate and the state are going to benefit, from the national visibility that comes with a game of this magnitude.
And Jeff, you bring up a good point. Things are changing. We're doing these kickoff games now. We've got NIL in college sports. So, I mean, the landscape of college sports is changing, especially college football, as we were talking about. So tell our fans a little bit about what the Sugar Bowl is doing to kind of, I guess, proactively and reactively be in a position to react to these changes that are happening. I mean, just multitude of changes every single day.
Yeah, Brad, you hit the nail on the head there. There's been more change in the last 2 years, I think, in college athletics and college football than there probably has been in the 50 years prior to that. It's amazing the changes that have taken place. There's student-athlete empowerment is a big movement right now, and rightfully so. The student-athletes are being, cut in on the tremendous money that's being generated by college football. You read about the Big Ten television arrangement that was over $1 billion.
Yeah.
That was just announced a couple weeks ago, and so it's right that the student athletes participate in the upside on that, and just what that looks like is what we're trying to determine. We've considered some name, image, likeness opportunities here. We haven't dove in yet, but I wouldn't say that we won't at some point soon down the line. We have to be ready, and also at the same time, talking about change is the college football playoff expansion is all of a sudden being talked about again. There's the conference commissioners and the CFP are meeting again in September to discuss what the future may look like. So we're trying to position ourselves to be ready to compete, and we fully expect that there'll be a lot of cities and bowl entities that want to participate in the CFP. We believe we'll be a part of it at the end of the day, but you never take anything granted, so that we're getting our finances in order and have done some things. With the state of Louisiana and others, to try to tap into some funding sources that will help us, compete against cities that are much larger and much more corporate than New Orleans, and we feel like we've gotten to a good spot there. So when they eventually announce whether it's going to be an 8 or a 12 or a 16-team playoff, we should be able to be a part of that. And, in a perfect world, we would become a playoff game every year, either a quarter or a semifinal game, and then have the opportunity to bid on the national championship game like we held here a few years ago when LSU beat Clemson here in the Superdome. So all that, we're trying to be ready. Like I said, we're competitors here. The organization has been competitive for almost 9 decades now, and we intend to remain the same and be at the top of the heap at the end of the day.
Well, Jeff, no doubt that you'll be able to do that. I mean, the pass is any guide. The Sugar Bowl is a top-notch program that puts on an excellent product on the field. And again, look, I know you're busy getting ready for this kickoff. Fans can watch it Sunday night, LSU, Florida State, live on ABC if you can't get in. If you want to go hang out, as Jeff said, some things to do outside Champion Square. And we just really appreciate everything the Sugar Bowl does, not only for us and our program, for the community, and looking forward to a great year and a year of future success for you coming up, Jeff.
Brad, I appreciate it, and I just would add that we, from the Sugar Bowl committee, that we offer our best to the student athletes, coaches, and parents and families that will be involved in high school football this fall. We hope you all have a great season, and we'll look forward to seeing you all in the Superdome come December.
All right, thanks, Jeff. There you go, Jeff Hundley, the CEO of the Allstate Sugar Bowl. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more live action here at Hahnville on the Allstate Sugar Bowl Prep Football Roundup right here on WWL.